So this is our top 5 movies of 2015 before Star Wars comes out.
So, whole nother list.
Yeah, so we're gonna hope, and we're gonna really hope here that we're gonna go see Star Wars when Star Wars comes out and be like, man, it's too bad we didn't like do our top 5 list after Star Wars because Star Wars was so awesome. Hashtag A New Hope.
Alright, should we start from the bottom?
I was gonna say we should, yeah, honorable mention first.
Okay, our honorable mention is Ant-Man.
This movie was so surprising.
It really was. Just like, it was so quirky. I love the humor when they're telling stories. And you know, you've got the guy's mouth coming out of like a white girl, and he's got this like, you know, like very stilted Mexican accent. And
I liked the interaction between Ant-Man and the Falcon. Like, that was probably my favorite scene in the entire movie.
Corey Stoll did a wonderful job.
Oh my god, Corey Stoll.
There was Anthony. There was like the giant Thomas the Train set that just burst through the house.
I think the thing about this movie is it didn't take itself too seriously, and it was a heist movie, and it was just a lot of fun, and it just proves that not all superhero movies have to be super crazy, dark, and serious.
No, they can be fun and quirky and still really just pack a punch. Yes.
So if you haven't seen Ant-Man because you were a little bit hesitant because Ant-Man, go and see it. It's totally worth your time, and I'm excited to see him in Civil War. Second honorable mention. This movie just came out of friggin' nowhere.
And that is The Kingsmen. I was just kind of like, I wandered by it, and I was like, oh, I kind of want to see that. Like, it looks kind of clever, funny, but you know, those movies that look like they're going to be clever, funny, and you go see them, and they're like, It was so good, and I don't know why. Very much like, we're not James Bond.
If you want to understand the glory of this movie, what you should do is you should go watch the Honest trailer review. I will link it down below because the Honest trailer review really sums up what I loved about this movie in a nice little package.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kingsman.
Number 5 on our list is Inside Out. And I was totally excited for this before it came out. Like, super excited for it. Just, like, the concept alone was enough to sell it for me. But then Disney did a super good job just putting this together. All the emotions and then the going through the brain, and it kind of makes you wonder, what did they leave out?
Yeah, I think my favorite part of that movie was during like the credit sequences where you got to go through all the different people's heads, and the bus driver was me.
Or my favorite was when you got to the teenage boy who's handing her the water bottle back. And
Go.
Or the cats at the end. Where they're all just like doing their own thing, and then there's this one cat just like playing with the controls, and the cat just goes freaks out and runs away.
Did you cry over Bing Bong? Because I totally teared up.
I cried over.
The color in that movie too was amazing. Like, it was super bright and just, oh, I loved it. Disney Pixar, I don't think I have seen a Disney Pixar movie that I didn't like, you know?
It's true. It's very true. But this one I think has stuck with me.
I still can't watch up. I cry.
Next on our list is The Martian.
Okay, before we go into about how Matt Damon was like basically born to be Mark Watney, the cinematography of this movie, like the shots of Mars were just beautiful. And like, it doesn't look like much, but then if you go and you watch all like the effects videos and you see how much they kind of changed in like tinting, it's fascinating. So I'm such a cinematography geek.
They did a good job of bringing out like the humor of Mark Watney and just the epicness of being stuck on Mars, and it was so nice to see what Mark was actually talking about rather than me imagining wrongly exactly what he was talking about.
I love the scene. The fact that 1, we have a movie where Sean Bean doesn't die, and 2, we have a movie where Sean Bean explains the Council of Elrond. Like, that level of meta, just like, oh god. And then the one guy who's like, if we're gonna be the Council of Elrond, my code name is Glorfindel. And I'm just like, a reference from the book.
Matt Damon.
Okay, Matt Damon, he was perfect.
Matt Damon was, like, when I first picked up the book before I saw the movie, like, maybe like a month before, and then she told me that it was Matt Damon, I was like, bam, Matt Damon.
with like a feel good like to it, because
it wasn't like the world was ending. It was about people coming together to help one person, which was the good of humanity.
And like the crew was great too. Like you definitely felt that like team relationship where the crew like definitely loved one another, and when they're finally brought back together, spoilers, it's great. I loved it. It was so good.
Next on our list is Crimson Peaks.
Jessica Chastain.
She went in for Tom Hiddleston. She came out with Jessica Chastain.
Oh my god. Okay, Crimson Peak, first off, hardcore Del Toro fan, so I was gonna see it even though I knew it was probably gonna give me nightmares. The cinematography, though.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Oh my god. Like, it's so nice to see, like, it wasn't really a horror movie, but a horror movie with, like, a high production value that wasn't, like, found footage. Like a throwback to...
It was gothic. It wasn't horror.
Gothic romance.
And you know what? They didn't CGI the house, which is what did it, right? It was like an actual set.
You had the characters actually interacting with an environment, and
you feel it.
You feel it. And like everyone was giving really great performances. Tom Hiddleston, Jessica Chastain. Like, she went into that movie and, you know, she gave it her all. Like, she just like... She was so crazy, and it was so good, and like just the last 20 minutes where she just goes like batshit insane.
She was scary. Like, she got me. I was yelling at the screen.
You were yelling at the screen. It was just, if you haven't seen Crimson Peak, go see it. Like,
it's worth your time, and it's not super scary. Like, there's a couple of jump scares in there, but that's about it.
And it's like. It's nice, like it deserves to be seen, like get some kind of recognition. And if that movie does not get an Oscar for cinematography or costume design or anything, I am going to be very upset.
Next on our list is one of probably our all-time favorites from now on, because I don't think this thing is ever letting go. That is Mad Max Fury Road. I think we're probably stereotyped by loving this movie, but oh my god.
I was really hesitant to go see it.
Me too!
Like, I was super hesitant to go see it. Like, I was just like, oh, this just looks like stupid action, and...
Yeah, like, there was no real reason to see it. I was like, oh, Mad Max, and I've kind of seen the movies on TV, and I'm like, not really interested.
I'm gonna say it again. The cinematography, though. Like, this has been a year of, like, crazy scope for film. Like, what you can put on screen. Like in Mad Max, you have these crazy like desert vistas and practical effects.
Yeah.
Like,
thank God they're coming back.
Crimson Peak, practical effects. Mad Max, we have practical effects. We have people hanging off of these things, like driving around. We have
bungee jumping off, throwing things, exploding things.
We have motorcycles like jumping over trucks. Like
I've coined a new term with this movie, and I'm calling it feministerone. Because
I like that. That's great.
Because there was so much freaking action in there, but it was so just like kick-ass female characters on screen.
Charlize Theron?
Holy mother of God. Just like kicks ass.
Oh, and like her relationship with Max, that wasn't like, you know, like...
There wasn't even a romance.
No, it was like a relationship.
And it wasn't even like a very trusting one to begin with.
It just eventually becomes, like, to paraphrase Cassandra Clare, is I, as a badass, recognize you as a badass, and let's be badasses together.
Yeah. And like, you had a harem of more or less sex slaves that didn't sit around trying to seduce people and were actually freaking helpful. Like, that is... unheard of.
No one was stereotyped.
No one. It was,
and like, even you pointed this out to me, you're like, okay, when you go see this movie, no one is like objectified by the camera, and I'm like, never gonna happen ever. And I'm watching this movie, and I'm just like, she's freaking right. Like,
there was not, like, you had sex slaves on camera, and they did not once go whoop, whoop, with the camera.
Like the full body thing. I don't know how many times we have yelled or screamed shiny and chrome or to Valhalla in like the last 4 months. Like it's
witness me. And you know what? Watching this movie has made me realize how much I love action movies. But not when they're being stupid.
Yeah.
Right? Like, love it.
More of this. More of this.
Okay, and so clearly we loved this movie a lot, but there was one.
The one that blindsided us.
That beat all of them.
That I saw in theaters 4 times.
And loved it every time.
And loved it every time. Can you guess?
Alright. This movie, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. And I sort of will preach about this movie. I don't know why exactly it beat out Mad Max. I don't have like a defining characteristic. Maybe it was Henry Cavill. Maybe it was Armie Hammer.
Maybe it was like the really slick like style, because there was some really awesome stylized cutting in that movie.
Oh my god, I nearly cried just watching like the battle scene where you've got these like random lines coming up and like separating the screen, and then they just kind of like drift off and it would become one.
Yeah, and
it was just
and so you didn't have to sit through like the 6 minutes of let's go storm the castle. It was like this really like well done cut through to make it 20 seconds, and it flowed so beautifully.
And the humor in this movie.
Oh my god.
Like the one scene where, you know, Henry Cavill gets rescued by this guy who wants to torture him in an electric chair, which has been having some faulty difficulties.
That they've built throughout the entire scene.
And so Armie Hammer gets him, like, tied to the chair, and they're in the next room, like, what should we do with him?
Because we can't, like,
let him
go.
Because, you know, they're just gonna let him off and use him for our side. And as you're watching, there's, like, this glow coming up from behind them, and then they turn around and he's just like engulfed in flames, and they're like, well, that solves that problem.
And I think another thing that stood out to me was the chemistry.
Oh my god.
Like, Armie Hammer and Henry Cavill rocked it. Like, so hard. Like,
just not even like in a bromance way. Just
you could like you could like watch their relationship go from I don't want anything to do with you to kind of grudging respect. And
the relationship, because you thought you were watching this and you're like, oh, you know, the girl's gonna go right for Henry Cavill and that's gonna be the end of it. No, the relationship between her and Armie Hammer, you could like light several matches off of that. It was just like their chemistry was insane,
and it was done in such a like she at no point is her agency taken away. Never a dull moment.
No, just humor throughout, very lighthearted, very, like, well done. Just, like, every scene,
And the costumes.
Yeah. Just... all very 60s, 70s. Just fabulous. This entire movie was a piece of gold.
It was style. Like, it was just... So, those were our top 5 favorite movies of 2015, and our 2 honorable mentions.
Please, dear God, get The Man from U.N.C.L.E. a second movie.
Because it was great.
Because I don't want to live in this world anymore.
You don't want to live in this world with Ilya and Napoleon?
No, I can't.
So, what were your favorite movies in 2015? Do you agree or disagree with our list? Tell us why in the comments below.
I'm sure we missed something.
And have a happy New Year's and a great New Year, and we'll see you
in 2016.
In 2016! What?